Good morning everybody, welcome to another video. It's about 9:30 now, and as you can probably see behind me, I'm next to the River Avon today. I've come just near home. I've got a couple of hours this morning to have a little go, so I thought we'll go near home, we can maximise our fishing time. So I'm here just above the weir, above the lock, to do a little bit of waggler fishing. I've got with me a rod that I've not really used before. I've had it for a few years, I've never really used it. It's one of those sort of impulse buys, which is too cheap not to buy, if you like. It's my Advanta 13-foot float rod X5. So I'm looking forward to having a go with this. I think I may have had like one go with it before, I'm not sure, I really can't remember. So what I'm gonna do with this is just fish the waggler. As you can see there, I've got a Drake waggler there, nice light waggler. I'm gonna start off, I think, running past this cover over here. We'll do this perhaps for half an hour or an hour, just depending how it is, and then we'll move up to the marina up there and have a go in there. We could catch all sorts of everything in here, so I'm really looking forward to this. A nice overcast day. It's I was just about to say there's a very light breeze, and of course it just picks up and starts blowing properly, so we may struggle a bit to fish this swim. But I did come over, as I say, with a nice light waggler with the intention of fishing very sensitively here. Anyway, we'll have to suck it and see what happens. I've got with me some mash bread. I've got about half a pint of maggots left, which are very old, and some bread here, and that's it. It's going to be as simple as that. I've got my Dower 125M close face reel on there, so I think that's enough waffle. Let's get cracking, shall we? Now, we are fishing on the sort of boat mooring area, so if a boat turns up, we're going to have to give way, because you're not supposed to fish off here, strictly speaking. But it's not an issue, as there's no boats here. Like I say, as long as we give way, if a boat does come, we'll be fine. Now, I know from experience, it's about 8 foot-ish over there. So we'll get this set up, get it unwrapped from around the rod tip. There we go. There we go. We'll get this set up. I think we'll start off on maggots, see what we catch. And then we'll switch over to bread. I've thrown a bit of mashed bread in. It's a nice little run here. It's sort of the river proper before it runs down over the top of the weir over there, as you can see. It's a nice little run here. And what we've got is the river sort of, bizarrely, it runs that way across that side, and then in the inside it's running the other way, sort of doing a big circuit in here. We could catch absolutely anything in here, within reason, obviously. I don't think we're going to catch any trout, but apart from that, we could catch pretty much anything that lives in the Avon. Right, try not to put this in the tree. Let's see how that is. Right, I'm a bit undershotted that. First time I've used this float, so I'm going to get as close to that cover as I dare, really, without going too close. Oh, that's nice. It's running through lovely there, that is. There's a bit of flow on today. We've had some rain, and there's a bit of flow on today, so I think we might do all right. Quite often when there's this much water on here, it's chocolate brown and terrible for fishing. But today, it's a lovely colour. It's about 2.5 foot of visibility. What's prompted me to try this spot is we came out a few videos ago, if you saw that, we fished here, and there was, blimey, a bit too far. There's some chub hanging around under this tree, so I thought I'd come and have a go here, because on the occasion when you can fish here, historically some roach about as well. Although, as I say, it's a boat mooring now, so often don't get to fish here. The boats often moor up in this bit So you just don't get to fish here. There we go. Quite a long way down. First bite. We got a little chublet. Fantastic. Back you go. Well, that's a good start. As I said, thought we might catch some chub here. Well, it's quite a long way down there. But it may be that this mashed bread has sunk down to there. I tried to throw it as upstream as I possibly could. It's quite wet. A bit wetter than I intended, really. I did a video, if you want to have a look, how I mash up bread. I'll stick a link up there and in the description. If you want to go and have a look how I mash this up. Just to get it to a nice consistency. But yeah, I've not done the best job myself today. It's a little bit wetter than I'd have liked, really, to fish here. It's perfect fishing over there. It's just a little bit wet for here, and it's sort of took quite a long time to sink. All right, something's just rolled there. I think that was a roach or a hybrid or something. I hope you saw that. Looked a nice fish. Looked quite roachy, but it looked very, very big for a roach. It was like about 2 pounds. So I think probably not a roach. I wonder if they're sat in this bit of still water here. Perhaps we need to fish a little bit closer in. Let's try a bit closer. As I said, we've got a current on the far side, current on the inside, so obviously in the middle there's a bit of slack there, and that was kind of where that fish just rolled out. Looked like a nice hybrid, or a, as I say, that looked very roachy, but it's huge if it's a roach. It may well be that in the middle of there, perhaps there's a shoal of bream or hybrids or something sat in that bit of slack. There's certainly some fish about. Lots of fish topping. Someone's after that leaf over there. Little chub, I think. Yeah, it is. I can see him whizzing about. 3 or 4 little chub. Perhaps we're fishing too deep. Alright, there we go. And that's, he's in that slack. God, I don't know what that was, but felt a nice-ish fish. Bumped it off, that's a bit annoying. Right, bumping one off, let's have another go. Let's see if we can keep the next one on. I caught a glimpse of it, it looked like a rug, to be honest. Nice one as well, so it's a bit annoying. Bumped it off. But if we can get them going in this sort of the centre of this circuit here, if you like, that'd be quite good. I thought we had something on. Float wouldn't settle. This is a rudd. It's nowhere near as big as that last one. But that's a nice fish. Cracking. Careful. Right. Well, it looks like perhaps we start to get them going a little bit in the middle here. Just tanking through a bit on that far side. So I think maybe we'll do a bit better in the middle here. I got my shot sort of from 2/3 of the way down onwards. So there's lots and lots of small rudd and little tiny chublets and stuff. I mean, we're talking like 3 inches long. There's loads of them in here. So I want to get my bait down past them. If we're struggling a bit, we'll get on the bread. It was just a short session today, really, just a couple of hours. Just take advantage of conditions, really. I need to get back and I'm on child minding duties and got to do some work as well. So we can't stay too long, but we've got a couple of hours. I say, one thing I do absolutely love about fishing here, you just never know what the next bite's going to be off. Getting a bite there. This is still moving around. I think we're a bit shallow. Just put another shot on. Deepen up just a little bit. You just never know, as I say. It's wonderful. That for me, that's a big part of fishing, is just not knowing what the next bite's going to be. I know lots of people get lots of different things from fishing, but for me, the mystery is a big part of it. We'll obviously set out sometimes to catch. You know, I'll go down the wide to trot for chub and barbel. But, you know, you never know if the next chub or barbel you're going to catch is £2 or £5 or, in the case of barbel, you know, 8 or 9 or even a double. But in here, get the shot on. In here, it's species. As I say, it's all sorts of everything. Right, it's gone a little bit deeper. I want to be somewhere near the bottom. Well, there's a lot of streamer weed in here, like eel grass or whatever it's called. And so I do want to get to the bottom. Okay, that's a bit overshotted now. There's about 2 millimetres of float left sticking out the top. Very sensitive. There we go. We got this time roach. Fab. Well, 3 fish, 3 different species. Cracking. Well, we're getting a few bites now. I guess we've got a Shirley roach moved in. That's a lovely roach as well. It's fantastic. Must go absolutely nuts when you touch them, roach. Fab. Well, this is cracking. It'd be a bit nicer if that wind would drop a bit. But it's just about copeable at the moment. Feels like we're on the verge of some rain as well. It's not supposed to rain. It does feel that way. There we go. Oh, this feels a bit better. Jag, jag, jag. What's this? Hybrid or something? It is. Little hybrid. Set my net up. That's going, isn't it? It is. Definitely a bit of roach in there. But plenty of bream as well. Roach bream hybrid. Right. Perhaps set my net up. Might be a good idea, mightn't it? Well, this is cracking. It's not prolific, but we're certainly getting some bites and it's snowballing a bit as well. I think that's the fish I bumped off earlier as well. Not that particular one necessarily. I think that's what I saw roll as well earlier. Looked quite roachy, but not a pure roach, certainly. Thought there's perhaps some hybrids around. There we go. That's another reasonable fish. God, blimey. What's this? It's charging off. It's charging off up there. Really thumping. Thump, thump, thump. God. It's got to be a hybrid, hasn't it? Yeah, it looks like it. Blimey. I don't think it'd be a bream or a roach. It's got to be a hybrid the way it's fighting. They absolutely fight like crazy. Love catching them. Yeah, it's a hybrid. Really fight hard. That's cracking. All this as well from just seeing that one fish roll. That's cracking. That's a lovely hybrid, that is. Wonderful. Right, let's get him on the grass and have a look at him. Well, there we are. Really slimy, as you can see. There's definitely a bit of roach in there, but there's plenty of bream in there as well. And they do fight like crazy, these things. Really feisty. Right. Give him a second there just to get his breath back. Because as I say, they do really, really fight. I think I mentioned it a couple of videos ago, but did a bit of research on roach bream hybrids because there's such a multitude of variants, if you like, between the roach and the bream. There seem to be a whole kaleidoscope of variations of hybrid, and unlike lots of different hybrid species of all different species, not just fish, but all species, they do tend to be sterile hybrids. But the roach bream hybrid is not sterile, so a roach bream hybrid can breed with a roach, and obviously it'll have slightly more roachy characteristics, and the same with the bream as well. So that's why you get such variations in their appearance. They can be sort of, anything from 99% roach to 99% bream and everything in between, as well as obviously the purebred ones as well. Right, we'll get him back. He's very, very slimy. Covered in slime. There we go. Right. Well, it's been cracking already. Wonderful. We're cracking bit of sport you can have with a bit of mashed bread and half a pint of maggots. As I say, I was intending on fishing across there and running the float through, but after having seen that fish roll, so we'll fish where the fish are. Of course, there's no danger of me tangling up in that tree as well. Casting over there. It'd be quite good to bring the pole here and fish over there. But I'm not a great fan of fishing the pole. I had to go in the close season again. I think it's a means to an end for me on the canals. But I'm not a great fan. Oh, lovely red, look at that. Look at that. A bar of gold. This is fantastic. I'll have to try this rod out as well. It's a bit, for fishing this sort of style, it's a little bit stiff. It was very cheap, you can't complain. I'm certainly not complaining. But it's a little bit stiff for catching smaller fish like this. Probably better off trotting for chub with it, something like that. Tip's not quite forgiving enough for me for doing this. But I cope with that hybrid all right. What a funny summer we've had this year. Last year was really hot, and we were, oh blimey, that one's picking up. I think this is going to be a short-lived session if that keeps happening. But yeah, last year was really hot, the rivers were really low. This year, there's loads of water in it at the moment. think on the Stratford gauge it's about 0.7. Well, summer levels it's usually about 0.5. It doesn't seem like much, 20 centimetres, but it's a lot on here. Right, every time I cast, I'm just inching deeper. I think we must be somewhere near the bottom now, if not on it. Once we've found the bottom, I'll just shallow up a tiny bit because I've got a very sensitive float on here and it's just going to get dragged under if it's caught on the bottom, unless we're right in the static water. I'm doing another bite straight away then. Too busy talking. Ooh, sorry, Mr. Swamp. It's a float, it's not food. Nice to see these swans about. We really struggled with bird flu. There's another decent fish. Ah, perch. We'll net him. Got a very light hook link on. Little fat perch. I am going to come down here and do some perch fishing actually. There's plenty of perch around here. Can bring the old bobber float down and do some perch fishing. Grab some worms out of the compost heap and we'll get down here. It's more, in my head anyway, it's a bit more of an autumn thing. But, you know, end of July now, so autumn's not a million miles away, is it? Well, this is cracking, I have to say. I'm sure this bit of water that's on the river is helping. It's so tricky throwing mashed bread. Sometimes it really sticks to your hands and other times it comes flying out your hands. Well, it's gone a bit quiet for the last few minutes. Well, he says, gets a bite. There we go. What's this? Oh, skimmer. I thought it was a silver bream for a minute. It's not, it's a skimmer. Should I know with that very sensitive little bite. Well, how many species is that? It's, we've had chub, roach, rudd, hybrid, perch, skimmer, 6 species. And I'll write a video about 40 minutes. Oh, how did I miss that? One of those unmissable bites. The float pulls under, goes under a bit more, stays under. You strike, you miss it. It's nice to get out actually. I haven't been out for about a week. If you saw the last video, you'll know why. If you didn't, basically I was down on the Y and I was fishing with it quite up. It's pegging through where I was fishing. I was still about knee deep in water, and like I say, it was properly pushing through. And the tripod went over. I thought I'd lost a whole lot. It just suddenly disappeared. I thought it had gone downstream. Somehow, and I have no idea how, it was on the bottom in this really fast flow. I mean, I couldn't go, just to give you an idea how fast it was, I couldn't go any further than knee deep. I couldn't stand up. But it had been alright for hours. And then suddenly it went over. I don't know if something hit it or what, but anyway, suffice to say, everything went in the water. Most of my kit is waterproof, but it's sort of waterproof, or more sort of rainproof, if you like. The camera's waterproof, but only when you've got the little door on the side. And the way I use it, running it off a power pack, you can't have the little door on the side, so that wasn't waterproof. God, we're catching some fish now. There's plenty of roach here. So, water got in the camera. It got in the little adapter that I use to run it off a power pack. I have 2 power packs on the tripod. Both of those are not waterproof. Well, one isn't, and again, hadn't got the door on because you can't use it with the door on. So it's one of those, really. All my stuff got wrecked pretty much. The 2 lights I have on here were fine because they are waterproof, properly waterproof. And the microphone receiver, so uses wireless mic, that went in the water as well. So that obviously was ruined. So the reason I haven't been out is because I'm getting the stuff back together again. Fortunately, I've got a few old bits of kit in the car and I was able to cobble something together to finish off that session. Especially bizarre, as I say, it had been there, stood up for about 3 hours in the water, and then suddenly it went over. I didn't actually see it happen, and the camera wasn't on at the time. I'd sort of gone to the bank to have a bit of a drink. Turned round and it wasn't there anymore. But I'm an optimist. I look on the bright side and I think, well, I could have lost the whole lot. Everything could have gone. The tripod, you know, the whole lot could have gone. So, count myself lucky. A bit bunged up today as well, guys. I don't know why. So, apologies for being a bit nasal. What's this? Ooh. Nice hybrid by the looks of it. Or is it a bream? It's a bream. Well, sort of skimmer. Looks like a purebred one. There we go. See the difference in fight between a hybrid and a pure bream or skimmer. A lot of debate about quite where the skimmer ends and the bream start. For me, skimmers are tiny little things, but you see on YouTube people calling, you know, 2 pound fish skimmers. But I was always under the impression that they were called skimmers because they were little and you could skim them in across the top. So by that definition, as soon as they start to pull back and you don't skim them in across the top, they're not skimmers anymore. But who knows? Right, I think I might have a few minutes here on bread. I've been at it an hour and a half now. Caught plenty of fish, but I think I might have a few minutes on bread and then perhaps have a little move up there before we knock it on the head. I stayed here longer than I was expecting to, really, but just because we've been catching and getting plenty of bites. But it would be nice to just have a little go up there. But we'll see how it goes on bread. Maybe we'll just stick it out here. So we've been feeding mash bread for a bit, so I'll probably be expecting the fish down there. I'll be expecting to see some bread. I think we had a bite straight away then. Yeah, there we go. Blimey, it's tangled around the bag. There we go. Oh, look at that, straight away on bread. Nice rud. Well, I was thinking about having a move, but perhaps we won't. That's got a reaction straight away. Blimey, so the kayak's coming. What's this? Blimey. A nice bream by the looks of it, or is it a hybrid again? Hybrid the way it's fighting. Yeah, that was much closer in. God. Sure it's a hybrid. It's got to be fighting like that. Yeah, much more roachy than the previous one. But certainly some bream in there. It's definitely not a roach. How's about that? Cracking. A bit of growth or something on his tail there. And that's cracking. They're certainly switched onto this bread. Back you go. Well, the bite rate since I've switched to bread has upped big time. Certainly on the lookout for it. Obviously we've been throwing it in, which would explain it. But yeah, they're properly on it. I don't think I am going to have a move, to be honest. I think we'll give it another half an hour here. And we'll fish it there another time. Do fancy doing a bit of small river stuff as well at the moment. There's a bit of water on the tributaries currently with all this wet weather we've been having. So definitely think it's going to be worth getting up there. Up some of those. Oh, that looked like a bite off a small fish, and I got quite a big bit of flake on. I just thought, no, I'll leave it, I'll wait. And I waited and waited and still missed it. Right, let's try a bit of punch before we go home. Got in the way of punches. It's about 5mm, 6mm. Right, let's try 6mm punch for a bit. I bet we'll connect with some of these bites. There we go, look. Connect straight away. Nice roach. They love a bit of bread, don't they? Lesson learned. Get on the punch. Should do this more at the canal, really, as well. I like to fish a nice big bit of the canal, though, for a sort of bigger roach. This is clearly lots of smaller fish in here. It's a bit better. Looks like it might be a nice rudd. Oh, that's a nice rudd. Cracking. How's about that? Nice handful of gold. Fantastic. Well, this is cracking. I really do need to go, but I just don't want to. Been just alternating between flake and punch. Flake's getting me much more bites, but I'm hardly connecting with any, and punch I'm getting less bites, but as you can see, connecting much better. God, be honest, some creatures crawling on me today. Yeah, connecting to a lot more bites than on flake. Yeah, we're connecting to a lot more, as you can see. It's lovely fishing. I say I don't really fish bread punch very often, but it's certainly doing a cracking job today. There we go. Feels a bit better. Really am going to have to go in a minute. I've strung it out much longer than I should have. That's a nice roach there. Literally, boat's just gone past. We've had it. Probably the biggest roach of the day. About that. Cracking. Right, 5 more minutes and then we have got to go. I'm going to call it a day there. We've been about 2.5 hours, which was about half an hour longer than it's going to be over here. I've shallowed right up, as you can see, and run across there a few times just to try and tempt any chub that may be lurking over there, but we've not had any joy, unfortunately. It went a bit quiet in here, so it's probably probably a good time to make a move anyway. So it's been thoroughly enjoyable. Really enjoyed that. It's been cracking. Just over here with a bit of bread, some maggots, and some mashed bread, and yeah, got a fantastic couple of hours. Caught loads of fish, caught loads of different species, which is exactly what I love about this place. Now I'm going to get out. Probably going to try and get out over the weekend. Perhaps, as I think I mentioned earlier, get up one of the tributaries. There's a bit of water on, so there should be a bit of flow, and hopefully the fish will be on the munch. So that's, I think, for next time. Possibly anyway, that's what it's looking like at the moment. We'll keep an eye on the levels, on the river levels. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you all again very soon.